Hey everyone, welcome to our Sleep and Dreams final project. Today we'll be focusing on the importance of sleep in young adults. We're all young adults right now and will eventually be leaving college to enter the workforce. So for that reason, it's important to build good sleep hygiene habits that will carry over later in life.
Meet John. John works as an accountant at Accountants Incorporated, where his boss makes him come in at 8 to make coffee and leave late to fix any mistakes in company presentations. John works hard, but sometimes it feels like his time's just being wasted. From an 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., his boss just has him do tasks to keep him occupied, like counting pencils. After multiple 100-plus hour weeks in a row, John's tired and his work has suffered.
Across the world, there are many reports of dangerously overworked employees such as John. Some are working as much as 100 hours a week, leading to consequences for their health. This is an alarming trend, and we want to shed light on these issues and ideally push companies to allow their employees to be well rested, as well as encourage employees themselves to prioritize their sleep.
The implications of companies expecting both late nights and early mornings are quite serious, as the long-term impacts that irregular and insufficient sleep have extend into both the productivity of employees and can also lead to serious health complications.
What is the result of these work conditions? Simple: drowsiness. When you have an overworked and sleepy employee like John, the quality of work he produces is much lower than if John were well rested. John is easily distracted and able to make mistakes.
However, there is an even more alarming side of drowsiness than just performing poorly. Our class motto is "Drowsiness is red alert," and it is a short and important phrase that we hope you will take to heart. According to the Centers for Disease Control, if you're struggling to stay awake, you should not be doing high-risk activities like driving. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration estimates that 72,000 crashes occur due to drowsy driving each year, with almost 6,000 of those resulting in fatalities. If you notice yourself yawning or your eyelids start drooping, a red alert should go off in your head because your life could be at risk. Stop what you're doing and get some much needed rest.
In addition to recognizing the dangers of drowsiness, there are some other common misconceptions that John might want to recognize. According to the National Institute of Health, snoring, though in itself harmless, can signal disorders such as sleep apnea. The NIH also further highlights the fact that, despite popular belief, lost sleep is not something that can be regained, and research indicates that your body does not simply get used to less sleep. Of course, these are just few of many misconceptions out there, but we want to encourage you to be mindful of your sleep, as poor sleep management can have serious implications on your health.
So what's happening when we sleep anyways? We can help explain that with a handy diagram known as the sleep architecture. As we can see in this chart, there are 4 phases of sleep: REM, or rapid eye movement, and 3 non-REM sleep phases. Each of these phases serves a different purpose in terms of getting well rested. For example, stage 2 sleep has been known to be correlated with motor skill consolidation, while the amount of stage 3 deep sleep early in the night and REM sleep in later cycles has been shown to be correlated with visual skill consolidation. If we look closely, we can see different cycles are concentrated during different parts of the night. For example, REM sleep is always in the latter half of each cycle and is concentrated in the latter half of the sleep period. Therefore, in order to get enough REM sleep, it may be important to sleep for longer periods of time. This is all well and good, but why do I get sleepy anyway? After all, I'm sure our friend John would prefer to just always be awake. Well, the circadian rhythms and homeostatic drive combine to create our sleep schedule. Without a properly functioning circadian rhythm, we would more or less sleep at completely random times each day. This would be a huge problem from a social standpoint, not to mention trying to schedule things for our friend John at work. But circadian rhythms aren't just unique to humans. In 2017, doctors Hall, Rosbach, and Young were awarded the Nobel Prize for the discovery of a circadian rhythm in fruit flies. Circadian rhythms are governed by the suprachiasmatic nucleus, which sits behind the eyeballs, as shown on the diagram here on the left. It is then influenced by light intake through the eyes. The homeostatic drive, on the other hand, builds up sleep pressure over time as we are awake and reduces through a cleansing process during our sleep. The combination of these two systems create our drive to sleep.
Now that we understand how sleep normally works, you might be wondering what the problem is with not sleeping enough like John. The reality is if you sleep less than you should, your body won't just accept it and move on. Poor sleep accumulates, leading to both mental and physical side effects. Importantly, you can't erase your sleep debt in one go. It takes time for your body to return to a healthy rhythm and these side effects to disappear. The consequences of sleep debt are real, ranging from drowsiness to slow thinking, impaired memory, increased weight gain, and much more.
Unfortunately, sleeping less is a problem that is oftentimes out of people's control. Many people experience sleep problems due to stress, hectic work schedules, and other outside influences, like John's boss. According to the Cleveland Clinic, about 70 million people in the United States suffer from sleep disorders, and over 50% of adults experience occasional bouts of insomnia. Globally, these numbers are even larger. Sleep disorders such as insomnia, various forms of parasomnias, and sleep apnea can all be manifested from poor sleep management, and these sleep disorders can all have negative impacts on energy, mood, and concentration. All things that end up being counterproductive for people like John.
So we've established that in order to prevent sleep disorders, you want to get quality sleep. How does someone like John do that? He needs the best sleep quality. We need to understand what affects our sleep quality. The Division of Sleep Medicine at Harvard Medical School has explanations of many different factors affecting sleep. Take light, for example. Since our sleep patterns are derived from light exposure, too much light at night may make it harder to go to bed. The environment in general is also important to understand. If your surroundings aren't comfortable temperature-wise, or you're in a noisy environment, your sleep will deteriorate. It is important for both John and you to create the best possible sleeping environment that manages factors that affect sleep.
When done correctly, napping can not only make employees feel less fatigued, but it can also have meaningful performance benefits. A study run by NASA on airplane pilots found that napping increased alertness, performance, and reduced the likelihood of pilots falling asleep accidentally. Naps can also have significant health benefits. A 2011 study found that sleep-deprived individuals, a nap resulted in a reduction in leukocyte and neutrophil counts, suggesting a reduction in inflammation.
So, is napping always good? Not necessarily. The Sleep Foundation highlights the importance of managing good sleep hygiene, and daytime napping can equate to poor sleep hygiene. In fact, napping can be counterproductive for specific groups of people. According to the Mayo Clinic, insomniacs may sleep better when they're not trying not to sleep, and thus, daytime naps may facilitate a perpetual cycle of daytime napping and nighttime insomnia. Furthermore, napping during the day is not equivalent to sleeping at night. The REM sleep distribution is different, as early morning, afternoon sleep consists of primarily non-REM sleep. Therefore, daytime naps don't necessarily make up for the lack of deeper sleep at night.
Even though napping isn't perfect, it's a better alternative for someone like John who needs rest and has the time for it during the day. Companies shouldn't keep employees busy for the sake of it, but should recognize the value of letting tired employees nap when they have the downtime. Though temporary and not a replacement for getting adequate quality sleep, naps can help reduce fatigue. Not only does this benefit companies since tired employees are less productive, it may even be an important matter of life and death, as we see in our motto, "Drowsiness is red alert."
There are a variety of solutions that can be implemented at the workplace to help employees get better rest through naps. According to sleep.org, there are a variety of well-known companies that support at-work napping, including Google, Cisco, Facebook, and Uber. Lately, machines called nap pods have become extremely popular as well. In concluding our presentation, we'd like to leave you all with some final thoughts. First, although we believe naps should be implemented in the workplace, we don't want to recommend them as a replacement for sleep. Secondly, we really want to emphasize the importance of sleep for young people. Not only does sleep improve your everyday performance, but it is also important for preserving good health over the long term. And finally, we want you all to realize that although school and work are important, your health is more often than not the most important aspect of your life. You want to preserve your health, and one of the most critical ways of doing so is prioritizing good sleep.